Okay, so good morning to everyone here in US and good evening to people in India. So glad that you are all here with us for the Sarah Weekend webinar. And today we have two guest speakers, Miss Kamala, Miss Meghna Rao. I'm going to introduce her. Actually, Naini Padala is going to introduce her. And also we also have Miss Amu, and Naini Padala is going to introduce her too. But before we start and ask our guest speakers to talk about their journey, I wanted to say a few things over here. The reason that we started this weekend webinar series is primarily to support women, to promote women, especially women in STEM. STEM includes science, technology, engineering, and we are saying entrepreneurship too, because everything goes hand in hand these days with startup world being so prominent over here. And also art and maths. So these include the STEM methodology that most of the countries, developed countries, are following. And we want to introduce that in India also. Of course, it is known in India, but not predominantly practiced. But that is what we want to promote because we are coming into a global world and we have to have hand to hand and shoulder to shoulder in technology and also knowledge. So to promote this, we have decided that we're going to have these weekend webinars, especially highlighting women who have successfully accomplished in their careers, either it be entrepreneurship or any of these STEM activities who have accomplished. So let us highlight this word accomplishment. People think that people who are accomplished, everything comes on a silver platter. But that is not the true case, right? Successful women have to do a lot of sacrifices. Successful women have to balance their family and professional life because the demands are different in India or anywhere in the world, especially for women. So we want to hear the stories of women who have already succeeded. That means that they have crossed those obstacles and they were able to achieve success by putting some perspectives in order, by creating a roadmap for them, by taking up challenges, by hearing what people wanted to talk about, right? Not everybody approves of what we are doing these days. Everybody has their opinion, what to take in and what not to take in. So all these things contribute to a successful women's journey. So we have today two speakers, Miss Amuraj and also Miss Meghna. And Miss Amuraj, thank you. I think your video is good now. And is your audio also working?
Can you hear me, Cynthia?
Yes, we can hear
you. Am I clear? Am I
yes,
clear?
you are, yes, you are clear. Thank you. So we'll go ahead in the order that we thought about in the beginning. Is Ms. Amraj is going to speak first, and Naini Padala, who is our moderator today, she's going to introduce each of the speakers. And we do have some people over here who want to hear your or have questions or thoughts or even encourage you, inspire you in return. So we will give them a few minutes to interact with you all. So that's the agenda of today's meeting. But yeah, without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and ask Naini Padala to go ahead and present our first speaker.
For our first speaker, we have A. Amoraj. She is the founder and managing director of Victory 9 Fashions, an Inaras experts in imports. She will be talking about her journey. Amoraj is an entrepreneur with a post-graduation in commerce and diploma in business management. She started her business after resigning from a prestigious position at a government organization and has ever since made it a goal to empower women in the workplace. Ms. Amoraj, the platform is all yours. You're on mute. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Nani. That was a very beautiful introduction of myself to hear from you. This evening, I would like to, good evening, everybody. And Cynthia, thank you very much for this opportunity. And I would really love to share my story with people who are also in the journey with me. Now, as Naini already introduced, uh, I'm the founder and the managing director of two companies. Initially, I started off as a sole proprietorship company. Victory Creations was its name. And I was in this government job, and life was all comfortable. But suddenly I realized that I had something to do in life. I had a dream which I had to pursue. And then I came along, and with the help of my husband, I started to pursue my dream. I resigned from my job and started this company. Right now, I have a son and a daughter. My son is 26 and my daughter is 21. So they also help me right now in the business. I worked with this financial company for 15 years, and it was a very big decision for me to leave it and then come into business. In the initial days, we used to make kids' 90s for 6 rupees a piece. But today, we have not only grown in numbers, but we have also expanded our business into different verticals. We now have our own kurti brand, V9, and we undertake bulk orders for uniforms, shirts, t-shirts, and we do all women and kids garments in bulk. Inaras is another company that was established recently. It's a new startup, and this we have started to export agricultural products, especially perishable goods like fruits and vegetables, and also non-perishables like rice and maize and spices and all that. So my journey until this day, it was not easy. It was difficult. There were a lot of challenges with home, with finances, with kids and the business, and the not having sufficient business, sometimes not having enough staff. All these things they're there. But then at that time, it was my husband and my children who were my support. The truth is that if you are focused on what your dream is and what you want to pursue in life, all these small things that come across our way, they just vanish, and you have the strength within you to go out and accomplish what you have, what the dream that you have in your heart. And if you're here as a business entrepreneur or you're thinking to become one, uh, there are some things that I would like to share with you. The first thing that I would say is always trust God and follow your heart, not your head. If you have a desire to be an entrepreneur, it means you have already been created with the package to be a successful entrepreneur on the inside. There are seeds of greatness within you, and all you need to do is trust God and unleash those talents that are there within you. Go ahead with boldness, and you will never fail. The next thing that I would like to share with you is always keep your family in the picture. Take them along with you. Let them participate in the business. Today, I see Naini along with Cynthia. It is so so beautiful that this little girl is helping her mother out with what she is trying to do. And tomorrow, when she grows up to be her age, she's definitely going to outdo what her mother has done. So this is the benefit of taking our children along. And in India, we have a lot of communities where we know they take their children along. And that has been a great learning for all of us, because this comes in the family and they begin to understand the struggles that you go through, the way in which you faced it, and they learn from it. They draw from the fruits of your labor. They directly are into facing those challenges with a different kind of attitude than what we had to face. Another thing that I would like to share with new entrepreneurs and existing entrepreneurs is that always build your network. As the saying goes, your network is your net worth. The more connections you have, the more you can succeed in business. I'm not just saying run after people and connect with them because you want more business, but I'm saying go with a genuine heart to build a relationship with them. enjoy the friendship. Let there be a good, positive, healthy relationship that develops within the people whom you meet, so that tomorrow the business will automatically follow. But it's people who matter at the end of it. And as it always goes, givers always gain. When you give, you will definitely receive. And when you give good relationships, good friendships, when you make friendships with people, not business will eventually come, but actually the thing is, you go out with a heart to know who they are, what business they are into, and how you can help them out with your connections and be of help to them in their business. When you go out with this kind of attitude, trust me, business will follow you and overtake you. That's the kind of business that you're going to receive. And I always, as an entrepreneur, no matter what a person's age is, I think we should be people who always want to learn. In business, you need to be a fast learner. We need to adapt to change. We have seen in the last year that so many businesses that were just dormant suddenly came onto the virtual platform because of the pandemic. And with this, they have taken their business, they have multiplied the business many times. And that is because of the fast learning that they have done and the way they adapted themselves to the new way of doing business. And all the businesses, you can just glance around and see that those who have not made this transition are still in the place where they are, and they are not doing well. So it is very important that as a business person, as an entrepreneur, we be ready to change with the change that's happening in the society. And another thing that I would like to share is always be positive. In any situation, we need to maintain that positive attitude. I'm not saying it's very easy, because when hell is let loose around you and you are expected to maintain the peace, it's not possible. Everything is like haywire going around you, and then you just can't be calm because your mind is bombarding you with thoughts that will just pull you down and suck you into that problem. But I'm just saying that it is possible to rise above all those thoughts, all those battles that go on between these 2 years, and then just come out of what we are going through. Because when you have that passion that drives you in your business, you will always be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You will always make a way because your passion will make a way where there is no way. And when you seek to make a way in that situation, you definitely have God backing you up with it, and He is involved in making that way for you. So always maintain a positive attitude, and definitely whatever happens in business, you will be able to come through. And another thing that I would like to share is always being thankful. As an entrepreneur, I have a lot of occasions where I can say that people have come and taught me how to do business. They have come and spent their time, their money, and they have been there with me to teach me things that I did not know. So it is very important that we realize. Sometimes we think it's because they want to get something done with us, so they come and teach us. Not like that, but it's because we recognize what they have done to us, what they have put into our lives. And when we maintain the thankful attitude and express it in words by being thankful, saying and appreciating people for the things that they are doing, what we sow is what we reap. It will come back. People will appreciate us for the little things that we do in their lives. And when people appreciate you, the others around you notice it. And when they notice it, trust me, you're going to make some good friends in your circle. And I would like to say that gratitude always opens new and big doors. I would like to just give you a glimpse of the work that we do. All this, I said it in a very, very short time, but trust me, these things take time to learn. It's not an event. It just doesn't happen like that. It takes time to go through and learn. There was a time when I used to panic. There was a time when I didn't know what I was saying because of the tension and the stress around me that was there. But then as time went by, as I kept focus on what I wanted to achieve, as I kept focus on what I wanted to leave as a legacy for my children and my future generations, I was able to come out. And in that, my husband and children were a great support to me. So today I would like to share with you a small presentation that I have done, which is, can I share the screen, Cynthia? Hello?
Yes, you can. Let me make you the co-host. Give me 1 second, Ammu. But very inspiring, Ammu.
Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Yes, you are the co-host. And I'm going to make Meghna also the co-host in case she wants to.
I'm the co-host now.
Yes, you are.
So this is just a small glimpse of what we do. This is my core company, the one that I established in the beginning.
If you can put it in the presentation mode, Ms. Ammu.
Yeah.
At the bottom.
Presentation.
If not, that is fine too.
Yeah.
Yes. No issues, you can continue.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
you got it.
So these are some of the things that we do and that we have done in the past. We have done uniforms, we work with hospitality and health industry. We work with schools, we do costumes, and we also do wedding wear and dresses for choir. And these are the costumes that we did for so we do ethnic costumes like this. These were some of the people that we had worked for, and these are the people whom we work with. In regards to NRS, which is my import-export company, we are into the export of fruits and vegetables. And I would like to say that make your goals small, achievable, but not too small so that you can say you can do it with your strength. It's your passion that should drive you to get your goal. And never be ashamed of your story. When Cynthia asked me to do this, it was the first time that somebody asked me to share my story on an online platform. I was first hesitant, but then I said I should not be ashamed of my story because I don't know who can benefit from it, because I benefited from the story of so many other people. So I need to give it back. So these are just some things that I've learned along the way. And Cynthia, I hope I've covered the time.
Thank you so much.
Very much for this opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Ammu. Beautiful, beautiful presentation and especially inspiring. There are so many other students also who are listening on Facebook Live, and there are entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, and they are truly inspired. And I myself am truly inspired because you explained it in such a beautiful way, how to start it, how to continue with the process, and then how to take a look at the success, And now you are empowering other women to come to that path. So definitely a complete story over here. Thank you so much for inspiring story, Ms. Ammu. I'm going to open the forum for a few minutes for people who are joining and also who are already listening. If they have any questions, um, the forum is open for, you can unmute yourself, whoever is there on the calls. If you have any questions, suggestions, and also if you want to accolade Ms. Ammu, please go ahead.
Hi, this is Shweta. Hi, Cynthia. Okay, I want to speak to Ammu regarding how she got flourished with the things. And it was really inspirational, and the way she told, it was very apt to me also. As she told, we would hesitate to speak in public, and even I do that. But somehow you have grown up, and things I need to know is from which background you are from. Was that from textile background?
Um, that is again another big story. I have no background in textile. I have no formal education in tailoring or designing or fashion making. It was friends who came along and
Okay.
taught me how to do this. And I don't know, because that passion was there to learn and take this business. I never knew ABCD of tailoring or ABCD of how to match colors, how to put them together, how to balance them. Nothing of it. But then people came along, and a friend taught me how to do designing. She was from NIFT. She taught me. And then there was another friend who taught me how to do costing for my products. So I think when we are open with that mind, and we just want to learn, and we just want to take this dream that is there in raw form inside us, we want to give it a form. We just want to birth it into what uh, we are supposed to contribute to this world. I think everything will be attracted to you. People will be attracted to you to come and teach you. They will have a burden to give you orders and see that you perform that order and make profit out of it. I'm telling you, I have such people in my life. They give me orders, and they also see that um, I complete it and I make a profit out of it. So in that way, uh, accounting and designing, where to get the fabric, the contacts, the contracts, everything, I tell you, it just came to me. If usually people will not believe this, but it happens. The desire in you is so strong that it will attract everything that you require and desire. It will be available to you when you need it.
Yeah, that's
Great.
true. Dedication makes actually things happen.
Yes.
And one more thing I wanted to ask you is, since you are not from any of the background, how were you able to manage the workers? The tailors, it's not so easy to get them.
Yes.
And you have worked in such a large bulk things. How could you manage that in the initial stage? There could be a chances where your workers would have left out.
Yes.
How could you
Yes.
manage that?
That again is the same thing. I'm telling you. When I never used to stop talking about my business. Before I did my diploma in business management, I used to hesitate to talk about people. Then when I went and did the diploma, I learned about this elevation pitch, where I learned to pitch my business to a person in 30 seconds. So
Mhm.
I started talking to people. When I have a need in my workshop, I start talking. Look, I need a tailor, I need a master, I need a so-and-so person who does this. And just the word goes around, and people just happen to come. All you need is open your mouth and ask. When you ask,
Yeah.
you will receive. But you need to vocalize it. You need to ask, and you will receive it. So there were many times that I spent talking to God the Father, who told me, put me into this business. So I used to say, I don't know any of this. You got to help me. You are out there. So you help me. And I'm telling you, you always get the result.
Yeah. I remember, Cynthia, you have told me that day your promotion would be by mouth, not by the flares and all. And the same way even Ammu is doing. Congratulations and all the best for your business, ma'am. All the best for you. Bye.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you. Those were very prompt and questions related to every woman that goes through this life cycle. So thank you so much, Shweta. If no other questions, we can go ahead and hand over to Naini so that she can introduce to Miss Kamala. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Do you have a suggestion or?
Actually, I have a question, but before
Yes.
that, Mrs. Amuraj, I think I was just inspired. Like, you're so grounded, and how you've just taken us through the journey shows, or it gives me that relief that yes, there is a long way to go, and this is not it. So, thanks a lot for coming today and inspiring us. One question or something that I am struggling with is managing or balancing family and work. And you have beautifully connected both of them. And I just want to know, how did you do it and how are you managing? How are you, like, getting that all rounded life?
Uh, that's you just involve your family. Usually when we are stressed out at business, you come back home and that's the only place you want to let out everything, because you cannot let it out in business. So, but I used to do that.
Oh, you went on mute accidentally, I think.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the thing is, you involve your family in everything, your children, your husband. So we talk about it when we go to walks. We talk about it when we're just sitting together. I share with them who came today, what order we got, and how I'm going to complete that order. And if there are small works for them to do, making them do the bank jobs, getting statements and visiting the banks and setting right things. When you involve family like that, uh, they become interested in what you're doing. Because I used to get angry, and the home was the place where I used to want to let out. I used to do that. But later on, when I understood that what I'm building is a legacy for my children, and if I'm going to behave like that, that is what they're going to do with their children. And I just didn't want that happening. So I had to change myself. And I think when we involve them in love, telling them that this is for them, we will have a lot of cooperation from
That's
Amazing.
very interesting. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Truly a lesson that we all have to learn from Miss Ammu is even I have tough time balancing out between family and the career and also social activities. So I do get stressed out. So I think first of all, grounding ourselves and seeing what our vision is and where we want to go along with the family, along with the business, and along with the social life. If we put a goal and try to incorporate all three of them together, it might be a little bit tricky in the beginning,
them.
because everybody is not, kids will not like what you are doing.
Yeah.
And husband, maybe, yeah, hey, I'm into IT, or, this is not my guy thing. So it's going to be hard, but definitely. That's a very good question, Meghna. All right. So, Naini, can you please go ahead and introduce Miss Meghna? And yeah, it's all yours, Naini.
For our next speaker, we have Meghna Rao. She is the Managing Director at Kamala Farms, a unit of Kane Biosciences Limited. Her topic will be about modern agriculture as a potential entrepreneurial option. Meghna Rao chose the unconventional path to help people from different walks of life pursue agriculture as a potential entrepreneurial option. Since 2017, she innovatively designs, builds, and manages hydroponics and soil farms pan-India, along with her partner and co-founder Sandeep Reddy. Today, Kamala Farms is one of the biggest modern agricultural companies in India. Kamala Farms has set up farms for varied people pan-India and made their hydroponic dream come true. So far, we have trained thousands of students and continue to train many more with an intention to spread the spirit of entrepreneurship across the country. Ms. Meghna Rao, the platform is all yours.
Thank you, Naini, for such a wonderful introduction. And thank you, Cynthia, for giving me the opportunity to just get my story out. I don't know how many of you are familiar. I'm 27 years old, and I started off business when I was 24, technically speaking. So I'm not as experienced, but I practically started the entire journey on 3 lessons. So I am going to share different chapters of my life and how these lessons have come together and really got me to where I am and really helped the company get to where it is right now. So the first lesson is the story of confidence. So typically when I was a child, I was not a confident child. I was an underperformer at school, athletically not at all equipped. I could barely run for 30 seconds and I needed to drink a gallon of water. That is where I was. And creatively, I was very good at daydreaming. So if you just want me to sit, do nothing and daydream, I excelled in it. But if that had to convert to something, that was a very scary story. And coming to painting, drawing, and all of that, I could draw 2 triangles with one sun in between. That was the maximum I got through. And my parents, obviously, like any Indian parents, no offense, but yeah, like any Indian parents, they wanted me to excel in something. Let it be sports. They sent me to tennis classes. They sent me to music classes. And when they finally sent me to dance class, the dance teacher had shut down his institute, saying, "I cannot deal with a student like her. I rather shift my branch." So that is where I was. And then slowly through all those episodes, I somehow became a confident child from an underconfident child. And I can't really pin that exact moment, but something just struck, like something just flipped, saying these performances, like how I'm performing in school or in a class or just my social skills, they don't really affect my daydreaming. So why does it really have to define who I am? I am just who I am. So the more people judge me, somehow I build the confidence to tell myself, it's all okay. You're just doing fine. They don't get you. So I was in that phase throughout my teenage that they don't get you, but you're on the right track. So that had helped me a lot, and that had helped me gain a larger perspective on a lot of things. So as a teenage, I remember I was very passionate about just understanding the social problems around me and why are these social problems there in the first place? What can I do to change them? I felt like I had this immense power where I could just change everything. Don't ask me how and why when I'm barely passing classes. But still, I just felt like I did have the power, and I just felt everyone had the power. I was surprised ki why are they not really tapping into that energy of theirs. So then I declared to everyone, I want to be a politician. There are 2 reasons. One is because Indian politicians don't really need a lot of education. So that was my way out. So that was my way out. And the second reason is simply because I always started to learn that power translates to change. So I thought I'll become powerful enough and I will change the entire world and the world will be a very happy place. And it's all done. Everything is good. And that was the confidence. So that is where I started to really pick up on the terms of confidence. And when people told me, you don't achieve a thing in the world, but you talk really well. And I was like, okay, sure, maybe that's my skill. And through that skill, I would get through a lot of things and manage and just slip through all the classes and just get done with that entire phase. But one valuable thing was, I understood at that point that even if nobody believes you and if you believe in yourself, if you really believe you have the power to change something, you can. So that is just, it was foundationally set in my head. Until today, nobody can tell me otherwise. Even if they did, I'm like, okay, sure. You are that teacher, you are that dance teacher, anybody, you can fit into that category, but you cannot shake my foundation that I am enough and I can really be the judge of myself and nobody can really change anything. That was my first chapter. Now the second chapter is story of persistence. Now, perseverance, persistence, these sound like really big terminologies, right? But I have broken it down. Like I got the code to it. So just when I was starting off in college, and I was really going through a tough phase because I was not in India, I was in the US. That was a different culture. I was alone, and a lot of things were just not setting right. And I hated what I was studying, engineering, typical scenario. I hated what I was studying, but I was too egoistic to admit it. I'm like, oh, I'll push through it. I'll push through it. And it took a toll on my health, and that didn't go well. So I had to come back, and I got really unhealthy to a stage where that, like, let it be my unhealthy weight or my chronic migraines, they started overpowering my life. And it almost took me back to the memories where everyone, like how everyone else were trying to overpower me, my confidence in my life. This was again repeating in its own sense, but this time I was letting it happen to myself. So let it be my health, or let it be just how I was reacting to life, it was not positive. And that is when I decided that let me just come up with a simple formula. So I have this thing that whenever something's not going well, I just come up with a simple formula. I tell that to myself. I'm like, chalo, 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 let's just go. So that time I picked up on this random quote that something is better than nothing. That's it. From that day till this day, everything I do, even if I want to do something, I don't want to do something, I just tell myself, let me just do something today. It's better than not doing it at all. Let it be constantly being motivated in business. Let it be constantly being motivated in health, trying to, like, lose the weight or eat healthy, or just, be positive. Being positive at least for 10 minutes is better than being negative for the whole day. So it's just that, like, I started applying this formula so terribly everywhere that it tremendously changed my life. It's such an understatement when people say, you know you need some big sort of inspiration in your life, or you need this big motivational person to come and push you through. But that's not true. You just need this one freaking formula that will get you through. Let it be anything and whatever you want to pursue. So for me, it was, that's it. Like, it didn't have to be Steve Jobs, perseverance as my WhatsApp status. It just had to be something is better than nothing. So eventually I got healthy, and I got into that healthy weight range. And one more thing, when I got into that healthy weight range, I started to notice a lot of change. How people approached me. It's like suddenly I looked like a very intellectual person, and my talk became very fascinating. Everything I spoke is so acceptable. And then I understood that, people, all they want to do is connect. They want to be constantly connecting with the other person. They don't mean to judge. No one wakes up in the morning saying, oh, today I want to judge these 10 people. That doesn't happen. They just want to connect with someone who is similar to them. They want to be inspired by people who are around them. So let it be in terms of how we talk to them, or let it be in terms of how we, portray ourselves. It all comes down to how we are able to connect with them. So it's that deep connection. And that time I had developed that deep connection for food, like positive food, clean food. I'm like, this is the basic thing. What will I change the entire world if I'm not able to change the way we eat, change the way we just, sit and enjoy that fresh green, or, something which is not constantly in the back of our mind saying, okay, this can lead to cancer, that can lead to Alzheimer's. Instead of all that, just something that we can truly enjoy, something for our future generation to enjoy. And through all that, and still my political dream happening, I was in that conflict that, what should I do, but I should be a politician, right? What's this? Okay, I'll just, like, I'll buy everything organic. And I went into that phase. And then, interestingly, my father did have a long talk with me. He was like, don't you think you should get serious about life? Like, yes, I am serious about life. I'm serious about the entire world. How can you discard my seriousness? Then he was like, no. See, he explained something so positively. It changed my entire perception on business. Though I come from a business family, I don't know why I was very resistant to it, simply because I felt it is a very easy place for me to again feel judged by everyone, because it's known and people will start judging me like how it always happened throughout my life. So I wanted to do something different. But he sat me down and he was like, just calm down, understand few things, learn to expand your perspective. Only then will you truly understand how to survive in this world and maybe change the world someday, if you're only able to expand your perspective. I was like, fine, I'm listening. You can't tell me anything new. He's like, fine, just listen, don't judge. That got me to listening to his idea on business. He was like, show me one country that is not prosperous and that has good businesses, or show me one business that is really thriving well but their employees are not thriving well. Show me one business where people don't come together and work together like family and really push through. He told me that the idea of business is not just about making money. Money comes, you'll have a lifestyle, after that it's just standard, but there is so much more. Even if you were to become the richest person on the planet, you will have this much money to spend and that's it. Nothing beyond that. So don't confuse business with money. Rather, if you're able to set up a business, you're able to empower so many people and get so many people on board to work together collectively as a family towards one particular cause. So he's like, if you are really interested about it, open your books and really understand. Because I was studying business also at that time. He was like, there will be some options. There will be some options in business that can truly inspire you. So check it up, look it up. And I did. Surprisingly, I was very inspired by what he spoke. It made so much of sense to me. Like it just gave me more power rather than wanting to, just start off with organization that is dependent on somebody else's funds. This gave me more power and it told me that, okay, if I'm going to take this path, I think this is the first step to changing that bigger picture. So that's how I started off looking for different business options, and I came across this wonderful term of social enterprise. And it just, I think everything in my mind came together in one single picture. That's it. That is what I want to do. I want to run a social enterprise where everything just looks like win, win, win. Everything is a win-win. So might as well be in a win-win situation constantly rather than being, like, okay, I'm trying to ponder someone. I'm trying to like be the shark and take away something. And, the typical 1960s business villain sort. So I didn't want to be that. So it gave me a good sense, like the idea of social enterprise and how these social enterprises are really thriving. And then uh, I finished my master's in business strategy and I came back. Before I started itself, I had partnered with someone, and he's my husband now. But yeah, I partnered with him and I told him that, okay, listen, I found this really interesting concept of hydroponics. Nobody wants to do it. Everyone's like, oh, mad. You have no sort of agricultural background. You don't even know how to check a leaf if it's alive or dead. So you won't be able to do it. And I was like, yeah, something is better than nothing. Today I'll know how to check the leaf. Tomorrow I'll know how to water the plant. I'll somehow figure it out. So as usual, like how there were tons of people, they were trying to convince me that this is not a possible dream because you don't come from any background, or your family is not involved in this, and also you have no money to set it up, so you will have to chuck this idea. But then with all the finances I could work out with all my savings, and the partner that I had met then with his savings, he was very passionate about green businesses, so it just felt like a nice harmony, and he understood what I was telling. So it just worked out for us. And then we set up this really low cost hydroponic farm in the beginning, and people would like come to the farm and close their eyes. They're like, what is this? Hydroponics is supposed to be very fancy. I was like, see, you're getting what food you're supposed to get, so you can't complain. You're getting high quality, high nutritious food. It's just not fancy. Why? Who has said this term fancy to hydroponics? When has agriculture become so fancy? It's a life skill. How can a life skill be fancy? Have you not seen any early man just like killing animals? That doesn't look fancy to me. So same thing over here. Unless and until you know how to read all their wall carvings, nothing is fancy in real life. So understand that we are not trying to come here and just fit into the term of a startup, and we are this cool hip startup, and we just try to make everything look pretty and nice and get the investors rolling in, and then they're investing, and we're looking at this big picture. So that didn't happen. Slowly we were able to expand the farm, and we understood a lot of things from the basics: what's going wrong, what's going right, and what's going terribly wrong. The next day we have to shut the entire farm up. But how do we still manage something? How do we come up with that something to run the show? So it just went literally from day to day, where we didn't know if the next day's operations would work or not also, because neither did my partner Sandeep Reddy. He also did not come from an agricultural background. He came from a civil background, actually. That is what helped us really bring down the costs while we were setting up and optimize the farm. So it was a big trial and error. And through all that, we've just managed to get through and through and through. And last year, interestingly, I started noticing the trend and rise in hydroponics. And I just saw like how people are really trying to kind of bring a sort of monopoly, like only these companies can exist and this is the only way to do it. And then I was like, enough, teachers, enough. You can't tell anyone that these are the only ways to do something. And from then I have come up with this aggressive plan that where even on Instagram, like Instagram is one of our major platforms for spreading awareness about hydroponics, how to do it, how not to do it, how to pick your vendors, how not to pick your vendors, everything, the do's and don'ts of hydroponics. We give away a lot of free information just with the idea that don't let somebody convince you that you can be fooled in this business because you don't come from that background. Don't let them convince you that you have to sell away something to start off this. Agriculture is a deep rooted need. People need to understand that. Like, it is a deep rooted need to be so involved in plants and nature that it just takes us back to a lot of calmness. Like, just from my entire journey, I can tell you that agriculture is actually my blessing. It's such a blessing that it has evolved me more than what I could have done for it. So then, just like how Mrs. Amuraj said, give and take, I have taken so much from agriculture, and now I feel like it is time to give. So we do these extensive training programs, and since just last year, we've trained over 1,500 students. We've set up multiple farms across India, and we tell them that, just do it your way. You have your own authenticity and nobody can take it away from you. We've just come a little earlier. Doesn't mean we are the only ones. And through agriculture, what I've learned is I don't really need to sit and compete with another business constantly. That is out of picture, because it goes back to the concept ki roti kapada makan. Businesses that are in food and clothing and shelter are always going to sustain. So if here I'm growing something like basil, doesn't mean the entire world's basil requirement is done. So there can be more people growing it. There can be more people trying to grow even better. Still, that wouldn't take away anything from me. Coming to that sort of centering has really helped us do what we're able to do and confidently put out the information rather than holding back anything or just trying to constantly feel like somebody is coming and attacking us and being in that victim and fight and flight mode. That's all like the story of the past. Now we've evolved to just be calm and do whatever we can to bring out awareness of hydroponics and then help people really set these agricultural goals and dreams to whatever possibility that we can. So yeah, my third lesson that I've learned from my business chapter is kindness. So any business that you want to choose, anything, or even just any pursuit that you want to go on, if you're able to be kind to yourself and people around you, I think you're just on the right track. Entrepreneurship is nothing but it is the final goal on how we are able to truly connect with the world on that kindness, on that simple formula of kindness. Let it be our clients, let it be our competitors, let it be our vendors, just trying to be kind to everyone. yeah, it might sound very saintly. I'm not so saintly all the time, but yeah, it's a learning lesson. Today, I'm choosing to be a little more kind than what I was yesterday, trying to be a little more compassionate towards where the other person is coming from. And your clients, they stick to you like family if you're able to do this. You're really able to go and approach them with compassion. They're just sticking to you, and you feel like you're in this big expanded family and you don't really need anybody else. So that way, I've completely skipped out on the social life aspect of mine. So that's been a bonus for me. Yeah, apart from that, it's been a really, really interesting journey so far. Yeah. I hope all of you are able to find your formulas and you're able to get through it as positively as you can, because if I'm able to do it, I'm sure all of you can do it. Yes. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. So inspiring. Meghna, we were not even blinking when you were telling us your story. It's like we were actually seeing and feeling everything that has gone through in your life from your childhood to, it's like a movie. So thank you so much. That was a wonderful way of presenting your journey. And I'm
Thank you,
pretty
Cynthia.
sure a lot of the women and men on this call might be able to connect with you or are connecting with you. So before I say anything, I want to give them an opportunity to ask you questions or suggestions or, yeah, just be inspired, people. We have two amazing speakers today. The forum is open for everyone to ask questions.
Yeah, I just want to really, I agree with what Cynthia said right now, that it was like I was watching a movie, everything was happening right in front of my eyes. I could see those plants growing and the way you were connecting with people, kind of taking the product to the market and things like that. It was a very amazing way in which you shared what you had gone through.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you so
nice.
much. Thank you.
All right. So I see, let me see if someone is typing. Okay. While everybody's catching up with their thoughts and coming out of that movie, so I have a question for you. Is
Please.
hydroponics. Definitely, I've heard a lot about it. And I see, and I also heard that it is not a social entrepreneurship endeavorment, right? So it's where it strikes an imbalance for me when you say that hydroponics and social enterprise. So how are you connecting those two dots is my first question. And of course, they say that hydroponics is high investment. So how did you decrease that investment level? And my third part of the question is, we have adopted several villages. Can any of these rural women get into hydroponics? Yep.
Great question, Cynthia. Actually, your third question answers the first question. So, for example, any social enterprise, it has to run on the philosophy that it is giving back and also letting the owner of the business enjoy the profits. And it is giving back. It can either be environmentally, and it can either be, through their employees, or it's just a combination of these. So for us, our three primary areas are definitely the environment, and next, like, we associate with not only clients saying I want to set up an acre farm. We also associate with people who want to start off at the basic level. We have associated with Ali for that reason, to help them start off from the basics of hydroponics at a very low cost, using our expertise of low cost, as well as helping them get funds from different government bodies and organizations, and create this sort of a simple entrepreneurial program where we are supporting them till the end and taking back the produce from uh, that. So that way we see that maybe we are not making as much money from these smaller projects, but obviously that, it's making a larger impact. And they are able to start off, and we never know when again they might expand and then do bigger things, and just like, help people more. So that is the way we perceive our social this to be a social enterprise, because we are seeing environment, we're seeing people, and we're seeing creating more entrepreneurial spirits from any sort of backgrounds. And next, how we were able to cut down the costs is simple formulas, like already taking an existing greenhouse so that we don't have to build one. And we were able to come up with some simple, like, using construction material of what was already running on his site to help and finish up some projects on this site. That was one thing we did. And I remember that we literally started with one bed after another bed after another bed. Though it was an acre farm that we had taken up, we did estimate that we were going overboard with whatever we've started, but we wanted to stick to it. So that's why we just gave ourselves that big picture that we have to fill up this 1 acre farm by the end of our 8th month, so that we are on track for at least getting back some returns the following year. So we went like literally bed after bed after bed. So the construction cost did not feel so immense. Reason again being, Sandeep is already into construction, so we were able to somehow balance that out. And he is very good at space optimization and coming up with techniques for making small places work as well. So we did not invest in this sort of vertical systems at all. Everything was horizontal, flat on the ground with these little beds of water. So technically that requires lesser investment, right? Like where plants are just floating on the thermocol sheet and they're like, okay, we are just happy being very modest. So we don't have to sit on some fancy tower or yeah. So that was another way where we were able to get down our costs. And third, when you're talking about women from different villages trying to adopt hydroponics, that is our ultimate goal. We want to make it so accessible that anybody and everybody who are interested in hydroponics should be able to access it. Again, I'm not seeing, obviously everybody would require some level of awareness and they would require some level of education. Right now we are in a phase where we're seeing people who are already aware of the concepts of hydroponics are approaching us. We are not in a phase where we are approaching people and communicating the concepts of hydroponics to them. We are allowing people, we're creating a channel where people who already have this sort of hydroponic word in their head, they know where to come and then they know where to get their information from. So that is the type of platform we are currently building. But definitely anybody, women, children of a certain age also, and even retired people can easily start off hydroponics, irrespective of their area, background, and anything.
Awesome. Amazing. So yeah, looks like there are no other questions, but truly inspiring. And yeah, every good thing has to come to an end. And today we have come to a conclusion of, I think, is someone trying to say something? Questions? You can type in the chat box. Yeah, I think that's a good question for me now, is that if someone wants to reach out to you, how do they do that? And someone wants some guidance. Yes.
Yes. So even if you want to vent out about something, you can always search me up on LinkedIn. I go by the name of Meghna Rao Alugadda. I know I have not put out anything for you guys to easily find me, but Cynthia, if possible, can I share my Instagram link over here so that,
Yes, please.
yeah, I just that everyone is like, we are extremely very, very responsive on Instagram. So let me quickly put up that link in the chat box.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, 1 minute.
Miss Ammo, if someone wants to get in touch with you, because truly inspiring, and if they want to hear more about how to start up a garment business, because most of us over here are all entrepreneurs or doing some other activity.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'll put in my phone number, WhatsApp number. So you can contact me there. I'll also try to put the Facebook link.
Yes.
So,
And Meghna also posted her Instagram link. And there is one question for you, Meghna. Here is indoor. Go ahead, please, if you have read it.
yes, so he's asking if hydroponic is an indoor agriculture or singular type of sprinkler type of irrigation agriculture. Okay.
Sprinklers.
Okay. So hydroponics can be done indoor. Again, the logic of choosing your type of hydroponic farm would typically be dependent on two factors. Where are you located? What are you growing? Simple, as simple as that. So if you're located in, say, a place where the sunlight access is very less, or it's snowing for most part of the year, or you're in the middle of a desert, like an extreme desert, and then choosing an indoor hydroponic farm is more sustainable. If not, if you have sunlight, then outdoor hydroponics is the best. Outdoor as in doing it in a greenhouse in a protected environment. All spectrum lights are there. Sun is free, so we don't have to invest in light again, and it just becomes a much more cheaper process. And yeah, that is one thing. Hydroponics can be done indoor and outdoor, but it has to always be in a protected environment. I think that is your question. The next question that is, if it requires any sort of an irrigation system. So hydroponics can also be called soilless, and these soilless mediums can either be like coco peat or coconut, something made out of coconut husk, or hydrotons are these interesting looking balls that your roots can easily penetrate through and grow. All these systems run on drip systems. So you just have to attach the drip, and then you'll be easily able to get your plants growing in these soil-less mediums. And you could be growing ginger, turmeric, ashwagandha. We're working on a lot of medicinal crops as well because they're high in value. Then you're able to get better returns. So all these sort of crops grow in your drip system.
Awesome, awesome. We also have, actually, they are not on this call today because I did not expect this kind of a level of in-depth knowledge sharing today. So it's my bad. But we have some students here in US who are also working on aromatherapy and, problems, stress-related problems, and they want to focus on developing some medicinal plants and all. And also some students we have who want to get into fashion technology and design some new trends. So we have two different sets of students also working with us. So I want to get an understanding from you both that how is your mentorship, or would you be able to spend probably hour a week or maybe a month to guide these underprivileged women or kids, children? How do you think we can go about it?
Definitely an hour per week is fine to give somebody some help, because that was the time that people gave to me, and today I made something out of it.
Thank you so much, Miss Amu. Thank you.
Same thing. I couldn't agree more. And I think definitely we would love to extend our support in whichever format, whatever we've studied, experienced. I'm sure if someone's able to start off from that point, we can see a lot more progress happening than where we are right now.
Okay.
So
Probably,
there is
yes.
another question, Cynthia, in the chat
Yes.
box. Can I answer to that?
Yes, please.
So Ms. Shweta has asked, when we have sufficient land and enough sunlight, is there any need for hydroponics, and how is it advantageous? So that's a very interesting question, Shweta. It all boils down to the fact, why do you want to do hydroponics? The benefits, are you associating with the benefits of hydroponics, that you need lesser water, the produce doesn't require any pesticides, and the entire temperature is more controlled and your output is more structured? What is the benefit of this business that you're associating with will translate to why hydroponics is advantageous. So if you could start off with 500 SFT or even 5 acres of land with enough sunlight in the outdoor, but all you need to do is you need to really connect to the idea, why do you want to do hydroponics? Why? Simple. And if you know your why, then it's advantageous in many aspects, that your 1 acre of hydroponics is equal to nearly 6 to 7 acres of soil farm, and then you're getting better returns, and all those benefits are anyways there. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, Meghna, and only one thing which I need to know is there any specific crop which we are going to go for hydroponics, or any crops can be grown under hydroponics?
Any crops. So when we're talking about any crops, now for example, I am located in Hyderabad city, and if I intend to sell in Hyderabad city, I need to understand what crops work over here. What is it that people will consume? First, I need to understand what people will consume, and then I plant what I have to do according to that market research. So any kind of polyhouse crops, or that protected farming crops will work. Like you can't be doing rice in hydroponics, but you could be doing potatoes in hydroponics. But are people willing to spend a little more higher money for hydroponic potatoes? So that is the kind of analysis that you have to come up with. But in general, hydroponics is really popular for your exotic leafies and ginger and turmeric. So these are some very, very common bell peppers, cucumbers. They also grow very excellently, and they grow better. They're nutriently more rich, and they sell better also. So yeah, these are some common crops.
Okay, and you're going to tell it to be as nutritionally better. You're going to have it in hydroponics.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Meghna.
And I think pesticide, less or no pesticide, I think, right? More
Yes.
of
No residue. And Cynthia, what is interesting, I hope I'm not overly doing hydroponics here, but this is my last point. Why, when there is this topic of nutrition coming, and why we are so confident about hydroponic nutrition being better than soil, is because soil might not have even amount of nutrients throughout the land. So what if you're trying to go bindi, for example, okra? So your okra in one side of the land nutritionally might vary from the other side of the land, and you have to constantly keep giving the land some part of some nutrients, and because the land is depleting, the soil in general is depleting, so you'll have to keep giving it, and that cycle never stops. But in hydroponic, what happens is we are giving the medium the nutrients required, and it's all very calculated, and plants have no other work other than accepting those nutrients. So simple, they absorb uniformly, and nutriently they grow. Like my first batch will have the same nutrient value as my last batch, and it's all calculated and high also. So that is the reason why any hydroponic company would claim themselves to be growing high nutritional products, and that's why the turmeric in hydroponic is really trying to, it's breaking the market in terms of how these turmerics can again be used for other pharmaceutical and nutraceutical purposes. So the thought and the process is expanding at a much faster rate than we are even realizing it.
Great,
One
great.
more question, Meghna.
Yeah, please.
What would be the water consumption? How much
So water, yeah. So water consumption, if we have to compare water consumption from soil to hydroponics, everyone on their packaging will write 90%, but it depends upon your system. So if you're going for a vertical system, then really it is 90%. But if you're going for a horizontal system, it can anywhere be lesser, 90% lesser than your soil. So if it is your horizontal system, it can be anywhere lesser from 60 to 70% as opposed to soil. So you can see how much water is being saved. And the advantage is, again, you can keep reusing that water over and over. That is where the water saving happens.
Okay. Thank you very much, Meghna. It was very informative.
Thanks
a lot.
Thank you.
I think, we should do 2 different sessions next time, just to enlighten people on either fashion designing or setting up an industry, and also hydroponics. There is a lot of interest that has aroused in our circle. And so, yeah, probably we'll get back to you and interact with you all separately and schedule those also. And please do keep a lookout for that. Information coming soon. But thank you so much, Ms. Amu, and thank you so much, Ms. Meghna, for taking this time to share your journey, especially inspiring other entrepreneurs over here in this forum. And yeah, we have your contact details, and we will be in touch. And I think you will have a lot of more questions coming up pretty soon. So thank you so much. And as I said, everything has to come to an end. Naini, do you have any closing thoughts, or can we go ahead and close now?
We can close now.
All right. Okay, then. Thank you, everyone. And we'll connect again pretty soon.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you. You're on mute.
Yes, so thank you so much, Cynthia, for inviting me. And Mrs. Amuraj, I'm so inspired. I'm so inspired by you also, Cynthia. Thank you so much for letting me meet you wonderful people. So thanks a lot.
Yeah, let's stay connected. There is a WhatsApp group that if you all don't mind, I will add you to that where there are other entrepreneurs also.
Please.
And we can get connected. But
Please,
yeah,
please.
awesome. Amazing. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have
You.
a good night.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Good night.
Day. Bye.